but I think I want to quickly go over with the meetings and then show you the product a bit about, give you a more like a physical feeling of how you can put them all together to make the process run. And one of the feeling I'm hoping to get is your own way of drawing the pictures. That's the way you see the SpecDD process. And I'm just giving you a real example using product to show you this is the way SpecDD help you to run multi-team project. So in terms of meeting, we have the sprint planning meeting, with the sprint review meeting, the project process improvement meetings. And for a big team, this meeting might be selectively inviting only some people, not necessarily all of the team. And the daily development stand-up meeting and daily QA stand-up meetings. And you might need to have a testing cycle, a short planning meeting, and testing cycle, short review meeting as well. So meetings, I think, is boring to talk about them. But fortunately, I have already covered all the details of the meetings. Meetings are used to serve as run the process, but make sure that you run them properly. So let's do meetings. Meeting is designed to either for us to start the process or review the process. So the purpose of meeting is let's have something happening, bring the people together, but let's run the process. So let's talk about the planning meeting. So as a result of the planning, you got a commitment. Review is about, have this picture is almost wrong. Review is about, have the team members to show off their great work, to demo the product. And this is the daily stand-up meeting. If your team are practicing the daily stand-up meetings, what you hope to see is they are there during the 15 minutes. When they are not there, hopefully you do see the burn-down reports, sometimes even the posted, the sprint backlog. Nowadays, teams are all using tools, so that the backlog or the sprint backlog or the task board really should exist in a computer as a digital copy. Physical copy still helps. Strongly recommend to post the burn-down report daily to help to build the culture, the rhythm of a team, and the QA meetings. So this slide, SpecDD for multi-team project, I think it's pretty much self-explained. I talked about this earlier already. You want to use the requirement to populate the backlog, and sometimes you want to use, if it's a team dedicated for the responsibility of making sure all the components delivered by a different agile team can be working together, then really they should have their own product backlog. And their backlog can have a flavor of requirement spec with value to the end users. So as a result, you can easily conclude that with a requirement layer, coordinating all the teamwork by the multiple agile teams and possibly even multiple testing teams, this added artifact, a layer of requirement, quantified requirement spec, not consumed as the product backlog, can certainly help to improve the scalability of a multi-team project. Is planning needed? Everybody believes Agile needs less planning, but need planning. A common practice is to plan the requirement to roughly decide the load mapping. When do you think, in which month you want to do what set of requirements. So you pretty much decide, in August, September, and October. So you drag and drop the requirement into the monthly board to make a rough planning on the requirement level. The task board often is grouped by progress status. And in DevSuite, we also create a task board that can be listed by the start date. So by list the start date, you are basically powering the Agile team while planning is not needed, but just do your best to tell me on what day you are starting this work. Obviously, as they edit, modify the time remain, the start date really can be auto set. So as a result, you know roughly, the workload on a daily basis. As a matter of fact, you even know roughly as a result of the Gantt chart, which is taking a different flavor. Instead of a detailed traditional Gantt chart featuring every single task with one row, you start to take a look at the sprint number 2. You see each of the team members, and you see their running result of the Agile process. The core, they have a start date and end date. They enter the time remaining. So as a result, you can see this is the image of each team members. This is the task, start date, end date. Here's the start date, end date. Here's the start date, end date. Do you have a need sometime of planning the task board for each team member? Obviously, depending on your practice. For some companies that, you want to plan the start date, end date, because as SpecDD, as a method, it will be used not just to manage Agile project, but as well as waterfall-like project as well. Obviously, this kind of planning is not like a traditional planning where every single task is important. It's just planning the workload in a very simple way. And in case you're just using this picture to show the team execution result, this is really a map of showing how an Agile sprint gets progressed from the start date and to the finish at every single task level. So I'm going to go really, really quick.